Hey, good morning, and how are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing amazing. I'm a little late. Sorry about a minute or so. It is, of course, 5 a.m., and we were back working on our book, Echoes of the Cosmic Veil. Still waking up. I did get coffee. Hold on one second, I'll get chat up. Hope you guys are kicking butt in your own world. I'm doing pretty freaking good this week. And honestly, we are knocking through this book so freaking fast. I'm super happy with how it's going. I hope you guys are doing that well in your own life. Sorry, it's taken me a second to make sure we actually have chat up. I'm doing it on a phone. And of course, it wants me to sign in and all that other crap this morning. So, Okay, we do have chat up. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. Hope you're rocking and doing amazing. I am freaking kicking butt too. Let's get this going. Okay, so we are at chapter 19. Honestly, this weekend I have a crap load of work. I realized in my head after thinking through it all, there's multiple things I have issues with in the back. Going forward, honestly, there's a chance we do a few little minor changes and stuff like that. Of course, we all, I hope, know where we're at in the story. Let's move forward. This is a slightly larger chapter. It's about twice as big as the last two chapters. I'll probably combine the last two chapters just to be honest. Okay. Okay, most of the dreamlike state was a fog where I was aware something was happening, but I had no way of understanding it. Let's see. Way of, or we want way to understand it. Way of understanding it. Okay. We're gonna try to just get through this with it not being bad. Most of the dreamlike state was a fog, comma, where I was aware something was happening, but I had no way to understand it. Then the connection moved. Connecting to the ship itself, I found myself floating through the systems. I watched as Captain Coach and Akio greeted an incoming Vemertech ship. Then, as they docked and boarded, I watched through the ship's systems as the heavily armed men boarded our ship and made boarded. We can just say boarded us. Us and made their way to the bridge. Then the shouting came. I was not sure if it was the AI or Eric's residual presence within it. I did feel panic though, as it said, "Wake up, they're here to kill you." I disconnected and got to my feet immediately, making sure to find my laser pistol and cyber deck. Still gathering my thoughts and trying to put together how I would have connected to the ship's systems while delving into the AI. Maybe it was just a dream, but it seemed very real. I, you know what? I feel he would have maybe. Let's see if that's better. Okay, ready. Where are we? Maybe it was just a dream. Maybe my technopathic abilities had reached out that far. That would be beyond. comma. Let's see if this works better. Maybe it was just a dream. Maybe my technopathic abilities had reached out that far. That would be beyond my abilities, but it seemed very real. I needed to make sure and had to know now. So despite the risk, I used the ship's console in my quarters, establishing a direct link into the ship's systems. It only took me seconds to find out the ship had docked. Then I patched into the bridge security systems where I could watch what was happening. Akio was arguing with the four men, who appeared to be corporate officers, backed up by six soldiers. The argument was tense, with the officers appearing to want Akio and Captain Coach to surrender us to the ship, and the ship to them. It seemed Akio knew something was wrong with the situation, as he accused them of being traitors and working for the Illuminati. With that, the deception was up, as one of the officers told the other, "Looks like we'll have to eliminate them all." Oh, this is where we get an awesome shootout part. Okay, good. Two of the corporate officers pulled laser pistols. Akio was fast, though, and was able to draw his pistol and kill them both before they got off a shot. At this point, everyone on the bridge was going for their weapons. Kyoto, seeing the chaos, pulled his weapon and began firing, taking out one of the corporate officers and two of the soldiers. Captain Coach seemed shocked by the betray, but pulled herself together, drawing her sidearm, taking out one of the soldiers as she moved to get to the command console. Akio was able to drop two more soldiers before he was hit multiple times, but was hit by multiple blasts, leaving him slumped over one of the stations. As Kyoto cleared the remaining two enemies from the bridge, Captain Coach managed to sound the alarm to repel boarders before taking to the con to let her crew know that they had been betrayed and to fight back. More soldiers poured into the room, and even though Captain Coach and Kyoto kept fighting, they were soon also taken down by the sheer numbers. As the fight stopped, it was clear what would come next. I quickly disconnected, grabbed my laser pistol, and rushed out of my quarters toward my friends. I got to Orion's quarters. See, here's the issue. I'm going to have to fix this in here somewhere, but I'm going to have to go back and read through the section. I do know that the little psychic girl, forgetting these girls' names, because it's 5 a.m., guys. Normally I know this girl's name. Kiera, which is somewhere in here, guys. Definitely, when we last left off, she knew something was up and was going to check on it. Honestly, I'm going to have to figure out if we're changing what she was going to do, or if she arrives at his door right as he's coming out. I haven't made a decision on that, but however it plays out where they meet up, it's likely to play out slightly different unless I wrote this in a way that it works out. We'll find that out. I quickly disconnected, grabbed my laser pistol, and rushed out of my quarters toward my friends. I got to Orion's quarters just as I heard fighting erupt down a nearby corridor. The commotion was coming from everywhere as fighting spread throughout the ship. Luckily, Orion had heard the alarm and came out the door ready for combat. I could tell in his eyes Orion was trying to figure out what had occurred. I was at a loss of how to explain the scale of the situation and said, "They are traitors working for the Alamari, and they are wanting to kill us. They already killed Akio and the bridge crewman." I feel that that's a lot to spit out. Yeah, let's leave that. There's a chance this weekend at not 5 a.m. I change that, but who frickin' knows? Probably not. I mean, right? As we headed down the corridor to get the others, Salvador came around the corner. He had been hit in the arm, but was still holding a laser pistol. Orion went to Brandon's door just as he and Rory were coming out. Just as I made it to Sarah's quarter, she emerged to see what was happening. Salvador moved quickly over to us, saying they killed Bruno and tried to kill me. I went to Toby's door, trying to get him, but he was not there. I hoped he was with the others in the medical bay. I knew we needed to get to the medical bay and get the rest of our friends before anything could happen to them. I told Orion, but before we could move, soldiers came around the corner and began firing. The first two shots hit Orin, not Orion, sorry guys, in his armor, leaving only burn marks as we started firing back. Yeah. Sarah and Brandon were not armed and attempted to take cover. I managed to hit one of them in the one. I managed to hit one of the intruders in the throat, and he dropped to the ground, grasping it for a second before he went still. Rory cast some kind of spell on Orin and herself, seemingly accelerating them. Orin fired his plasma pistol with withering speed again and again, killing four of them and suppressing them from advancing on us. Salvador moved to advance on them, killing one of them just before he was hit in the leg and fell to the ground. We had won briefly, as two remaining soldiers retreated back down the corridor, but we could hear them regrouping, and it sounded like more were amassing for an attack. Sarah and Brenda pulled Salvador back behind us, and Brandon took his laser pistol. Sarah seemed to be trying to heal Salvador as well as she could. Then, as we heard another wave coming down the corridor, we formed up, taking better cover. As the next wave of men came, we managed to take them down, barely allowing them to get a few shots off. The next wave came hard around the corner and in mass. They managed to take positions, and fighting became fierce. As one of them rushed, I noticed him readying a grenade. Panic hit me for a brief second before I composed myself, took aim, and shot him down. I had stopped him just in time, and the grenade fell to the ground, detonating far enough away to be ineffective. Sadly, I had exposed myself and felt a hot, sharp pain as I got hit in the arm. I was not sure how bad it was yet, but I could smell the burnt flesh from my arm, the same smell now filling the hall from the others. Orin was also hit, but his armor again absorbed the blast. Now the fighting was getting more intense, and I could barely manage to use my arm, so I switched to shooting left-handed. Suddenly, two soldiers dropped to the ground, blood pouring from their eyes. Then, shots came from down the corridor, striking the remaining soldiers. It was Amelia, Mia, Blake, and Toby, along with some of the remaining crew members who had joined our side. They had arrived just in time to save us. When I turned back, I noticed Sarah slumped over Salvador. When I last looked, Sarah had been shielding Salvador while working to heal him. The wounds had been lethal. Sarah was hit once in the back and once in the side of her head during the fighting. With all the chaos, I had not noticed, but she was at peace now. Right, I know. Before I had time to say a word, Amelia said, "Sam, you need to shut down the ship's controls while I deal with the other ship. I will shut down their life support." Let me figure out what's going on here. "I will shut down their life support and give the ship security votes." This is a quote. Does he say a lot here? Hold on. I will shut down their life support and give their ship security robots new directives. Hopefully that will cause chaos and kill as many of them as possible. We need to strike now or we're all dead. Okay. So he replied, right? We're all happy with that. I replied, I will shut down their life support systems and give their ship's security robots new directives. Hopefully that will cause enough chaos and kill as many of them as possible. We need to strike now or we're all dead. Okay. I was in shock, but I still knew. Ooh. See? Ooh. What did we just do? Naughtiness. Okay, down. I now realize what happened here, guys. Don't worry. Okay. You need to shut down their ship's controls while I do. Just trying to fix it. Don't worry, guys. We're taking out that replied. Oh, because Amelia has powers too. I'm sorry. Guys, I forgot. Or does she? Hold on. Let me look through this and figure out what I think. Okay, Sam. Okay, I think I'm going to have this fixed. I don't know what happened. Okay, let's see what we got here. Sam, you need to shut down their ship's controls while I deal with the remaining forces on our ship. You need to shut down. Let's take their life support offline, right? You need to take their life support offline and give their ship security robots new directives. Hopefully that will cause enough chaos and kill as many of them as possible. We need to strike now or we're all dead. I was in a state of shock, but I still knew she was correct. I moved to the console in the corridor and linked in. It only took me seconds this time to get in, and I locked out the bridge the same way I had seen. Wait, the same way. Locked out the bridge. I don't even think this matters. Okay, we're going to lock out their bridge. Okay. While I was in the system, I could feel Amelia moving through into our ship's systems. I had never felt something so powerful, so alien to me. When I disconnected, Brandon, Blake, and Toby were standing over Sarah's body with a look of shock and anger. Amelia was disconnecting, and Kiera, and Mia were standing guard as Salvador lay unconscious. So honestly, I'm gonna have to put Kiera in here because now we have Kiera. I gotta figure out what the heck Kiera was doing the whole time. Because, in all honesty, we have her in one of these chapters back here, leaving to go find out more. She's psychic and would have definitely found out more. See, watch this. We got this. As I left my quarters, Kiara was standing there with a look of concern. Sam, okay, this is where they go. Kiara said, yeah, see, this is where she says it. Sam, I'm going to go and see if I can find anything out. I feel I'm going to have to fix this right here, guys. One, I need to figure out what the heck she did find out. Likely she's going to meet him at the door, and I'm going to have to add her into the battle scene in some capacity. Also, I'm going to just straight tell you, I'm not really 1,000,000% sure how I like how we played out this last section here. This little paragraph here, the way I played it out, I'm likely to change that up a little bit. I just don't know where to go with it yet. I don't like that though. I'll tell you guys. So I'll think about it through my day today, and in all honesty, by the end of the day, it'll have mold over in my mind enough that I'll have a firm no. This is where I think we should go. It does look like we have officially arrived at chapter 20, which is freaking awesome. That means we're almost done with this book. That means we'll have a book published. That means we can start a new book and some more fun, and I won't feel like, hey, what the heck. So I do want to thank you guys for just being awesome, hanging out all morning. I hope you have a great start to your day. Peace and very best wishes to you guys.